Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Law of Attraction Roundtable. I'm your host, Gary Temple Bodley. Today, we're going to talk about the energy in a room. We always, walk into these houses or buildings or events or something, and you sort of can feel the energy. And Genevieve asked, how do you clear that energy? If you want to make it like a Zen place, what do you do to clear out the energy? It's interesting when people are on the hot seat, or we call it the lukewarm seat with Joshua, they feel this intense energy coming from Joshua. And Joshua always says it's actually their connection to their inner self, which is source. It's their agreement that the energy is there. It's the natural energy they would have anyway. And they just perceive, that situation there with Joshua to be full of energy. Also, the Joshua events are full of energy, but it's the people in the room who come together. They're all vibing high and they're not saying anything wrong. And so that's their natural energy that I think. So how does that apply to other situations? Today we have Astrid Halvorsen, and Astrid's going to share Laurel's take on this one. Hi, Astrid. How are you?
Hi, Gary. I'm good. Yeah, I just came from yoga. All Zen. Yes.
You're full Zen, so you be
Yes.
calm.
Nothing can upset me. Oh, wait. Not true. Not true.
It's so funny because in this spiritual business kind of thing we're in, it's like everyone's supposed to have this Zen state and be calm and relaxed, and that's totally the opposite of my state. My state is normally quick, go fast, and take no bullshit, talk, quickly. And we were doing a boot camp coaching call. And, in the beginning of the boot camp, one of the things that you learn, the first thing Joshua ever said is everything is right. There is no wrong anywhere in the universe. But when you're new to this work, you want to point out all the things that are wrong. Okay, there's nothing wrong here, but what about this and this and this? And so one of the people in the boot camp are like, what about this thing and protests? And I'm being me, saying there is no wrong. Anything seen as wrong is from a limited perspective. And she goes, well, how come when protests do work? And I'm like, protests have never worked.
Yeah.
Stop believing that bullshit, She goes, I said, give me one example when a protest ever worked. And she goes, in Hong Kong, they just passed a law. I go, guarantee you it had nothing to do with a protest. It had to do with something else, And I'm like, that's just how I am. I'm not a Zen-like person. I'm not calm and easy. I have people telling me that I'm just not nice.
Yeah, we're all different, but I remember when we were in the Caribbean with the Joshua cruise, and I had been, for me, like super happy and outgoing and just like loud the whole day. And then as we were waiting for, I guess, the bus back to the ship or something, someone said to me, wow, I wish you would just lighten up, Astrid. I wish we could see you when you just like let loose and be happy. And I'm like, dude, I've been happy this whole day. This is my happy face. This is me being loud. And it's just, we just have different, I guess, set points, or like we express our love in different ways, and it's all okay. Yeah, it's all fine. We're just different.
Yeah. Which day? Because I thought you were totally alive, and we all were that day we went to St. John's.
I don't remember.
Those are the days of that picture of you and me, remember?
Yeah, I don't, it's all like one day for me. I can't separate the days.
So that's a big, that was a big aha those 2 days, because the first day was, let's just go with this group, and we all intended to go with the flow and just go with whatever happened. And it was like this magical day of everything working out perfectly. I mean, so many things. It was so fun. And the next day I had planned it specifically to go to this one beach in, it was that was the complete opposite of the other day. Nothing went right. Everything was a problem.
I didn't notice. I thought those 2 days were good, both equally good for me. I didn't. That's because you look back and you probably think, oh, that shouldn't have happened. It should have been different. For me, those were both good days.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing nothing. So those days on the beach, that was perfect for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. All right. So what about this idea of clearing a room's energy?
I totally get that because, okay, so the yoga thing, we used to have yoga in a different location one that they had been doing yoga for years. And so we just switched to a new location where they haven't been doing any yoga. It was just used for, I don't know, like storage or whatever. And the first classes, the first week in that room, it was so weird because the energy was totally different. And you also notice it if you go into like old churches where people have worshiped and where there's been a lot of strong emotions for like centuries. And you go in, and even though I'm not religious, I get very emotional because there's so much, you can feel the energy in the room. And I totally believe because, okay, everything, even the space in between is actually filled space. There are no empty spaces.
Right.
So like the air, everything is energetic space.
Right.
So it makes sense that even the space in between has an energy of some sort. It's vibrating at a certain energy or a certain vibration. So of course there's energetic, I don't know, imprints, or I don't know. But if a lot of people have had good experiences in a room, I totally believe that that is sensible to those of us that are sensitive.
Yeah.
If we choose to. And then of course it's a question if you choose to let it affect you, but I totally believe we can pick up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Navina, who lived in Cairo for a long time. And she said the energy of Cairo is unbelievable. That, you know, where the pyramids are and everything. There's something about that spot on the earth. And another spot is Sedona, Arizona, where people say there's these vortexes of energy. I sort of felt it when I was there, but I couldn't tell if I was making it up or just appreciating the beauty. You know, in Sedona, well, Sedona is probably the most woo-woo town in the world, in America.
In America,
One of the big popular things to have there is your aura photographed. So there's like 10 different places, you know, come get your aura photographed here. And so now we make jokes everywhere we go. Excuse me, where's the aura photography place? You know, here in Newton.
But
so
I think also, I think Stonehenge is also one of those places with the energetic, what do they call it? Ley lines or something? I can't remember, but it's like energetic lines all over the world. And there are like hot spots of energy.
Yeah, someone was saying that the earth, I think this was Kimberly, was saying that the earth has chakras.
Or portals.
You know, Mother Earth is, and in that question that we did with Kimberly, was saying that Mother Earth has chakras, and like Earth, we are like Earth, you know. The Earth is one with us, and it's an entity as well, and she channels Earth. Gaia, right?
Gaia.
So.
And I've also heard that these certain places on Earth, these spots, are like energetic portals where aliens can come through easier than just to sort of come anywhere. So like the energetic, like they're easier to come from other planets to come to these places.
Yeah.
It's interesting, all the stuff we don't know.
Is that how you got here?
I think I chose the normal incarnation. I'm from Orion. Did you know? That was my first incarnation. Orion.
Who told you that?
Yes. Kimberly.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know where I'm from.
I love that stuff. And I think most of us living now, we have been all over on so many planets.
I don't know about that. Joshua hardly ever talks about.
They mentioned that to me once. They said something about because I have been on like alien planets, whatever, so many times that was why it was so difficult for me to adapt to this. No, they said something about that I have lived on planets where telepathy is normal. So that was why it's so difficult to me to live by these, like I have no filter. I say all these things that most people don't say because you're not supposed to say it. And it's because I'm so used to living with on planets where there's telepathy. So I'm not used to having to hide. So they do say, I think they do open up on these things if they're sort of talking to someone who's open to it.
Maybe. They did just mention something just briefly that, you know, there's infinite numbers of places where you could explore.
Yeah.
But most of us have been exploring Earth and we're comfortable with Earth.
Mm.
And, and it does seem like those of us who are alive now have come at this really special time to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into Genevieve's question. I'll read the question because it's really
Yes.
short. And then you can read Laurel's answer there. Hold on one second.
Yes.
Let me find that. There we go. Hold on. Hold on. Where'd it go? I had
I'm
it.
holding. I'm holding.
Oh, please hold. Please hold.
I'm still here, Gary.
All right, cool. Dear Joshua, this is actually Joshua and Laurel. Genevieve asked this one.
Oh, that's good.
How do I clear energies or change/reset atmosphere in a room? Is it beneficial?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that, like with is it sage they use? Smoking
Yeah,
sage?
I got some right here. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's smudging.
Oh, yeah.
Smudging.
Have
We
you
haven't
used
used
it
it
though?
yet.
Oh,
No,
so you
this
guys.
house seems like it has such great energy.
Oh, good.
No?
So you don't need it.
Uh-uh.
Okay. Okay, I'll read what Laurel says.
Okay.
Dear Genevieve, when you clear the energies in a room, you are simply introducing your own higher vibration into the room, just like you do in any room you enter. When you enter a room, a group, a place, you share your energy with the space, and the space or group is sharing their energy with you. Remember that there are not really any limits or boundaries to your energy, and this mixing of energies is the most natural thing when you know that in truth, all these different people and energies are really one energy. The reality is that it is not the mix of several energies. It is in the intermixing of one energy, mixing within itself.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bowl of oatmeal, raisins, sugar, butter, eggs, and so on, and you mix the ingredients in the bowl for a mix that can create something new compared to just the oatmeal and the eggs on its own. The cookies you create from the mix is more expansive than just the eggs on the counter. The eggs on the counter are wonderful just sitting there, but the real magic happens when you mix them with the rest. And there are no limits to what you can make from oatmeal and eggs. Ha ha. Oh my, the wonders you can create when you mix energies. This is how you create anything, a mix of energies, the energies that are all part of the one.
Ah.
Which
So,
I find that so interesting because often I'm thinking, is this my wobble I'm feeling here? Is it my anger or is it someone else?
it's interesting too. I don't know. Well, see, there's so many people who are empathic now,
Yeah.
and they say that they feel people's energies, and they're very, and if you're interested in this stuff, it's because you're highly sensitive. That's the constant theme that runs through this, and I think that has to do with why there's so many more women than men in this.
Yeah.
But we are very highly sensitive, and I'm probably the least sensitive of the group of us. But generally speaking.
So when you guys are like, when you might even not even notice if she's upset, but then you ask her what's wrong, and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm totally fine." You're like, "Oh, okay, that's good."
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, you don't get it at all.
I don't get it. It was like, why are you upset? What did I do? No, that literally doesn't happen. She is so in tune with herself, and her, if she gets negative emotion, she understands it's some limiting belief that's triggering that I can't cause her to have negative emotion. And so she processes that so quickly now that she never is like that at all, which I never thought was possible, to be in a relationship like that. And I'm not like that either. She can't do anything that I get upset about. It's just not possible. So we just don't have any of that fear going into this relationship.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Do you notice if you're in a room with people, like if they have been arguing, especially couples, and you come in there, do you notice that it's kind of tense, or do you just not pick up on it?
Here's the obvious thing that happened recently. When we were on the Law of Attraction cruise, Juan bought us a private section of this island that was an excursion, right? And so there was 12 or 13 of us that went on this excursion. with a boat of people just going to that island. So there's maybe a couple hundred people on that boat, upper deck and lower deck. And it takes about 45 minutes to get there. When we get there, they let us off first because got that upgraded thing. And they put us in this truck and they drive us over to this private spot. It's all roped off. We have our own house. We have, servers and people taking care of us and chefs and bartenders and all that. Just for us, it was really cool. So then they say, okay, it's time to go, 7 hours later or something. And so we get on that same bus and then they take us back to the boat. Now they had put everyone in the boat ahead of us and we're the last people to get on.
Yeah.
And so it's hot, it's in Mexico and they're all steaming in there. All of them are pissed off at us. Somebody says something like, about time you showed up, right?
Oh, God.
We just got into the truck that took us over there. And so they're all there. But we were, so high vibing. Just happened that the first 2 rows of this boat downstairs by the captain, and they have this cruise director girl, were open. So we just take these seats. We walk down the dock in front of everyone, then through the boat in front of everyone. And we sit down. And so they start playing this big boombox, and it's a Bluetooth, and Mark starts taking it over and becomes the DJ. And Casey and Kimmy start dancing, and everyone starts singing along, and he's playing these great, fun songs. And within 2 minutes, the entire downstairs of that boat is just all singing together and having the best time.
That's good.
So
you raised the vibration.
We totally raised. We didn't let their vibration affect us, which is the thing. We didn't feel, because we didn't do anything we thought was wrong. So we understood that they were, waiting for us, but we couldn't do anything about it, and we didn't take it personally. And so we just were ourselves, didn't lose our vibration, and instead they came up to us because that fun vibration is infective.
Yeah.
Infectious. Yeah.
Infectious. Yeah. But you still notice the energy that was there when you came, even though you don't sort of let it affect you, you still notice it.
Yeah. And having said that, it wasn't like we went to a funeral. They were still on vacation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's tension in the air.
Yeah. There's a little tension. And this is what I notice now after, doing Joshua for so long and Abraham and going through the boot camp a bunch of times, is that I really have this clarity to see where people are, realize their modes are dictated by the fears that they're feeling. And it has nothing to do with me. It's their specific personal fears. In this case, the fear was that it's too hot, that they're wasting time, and they have to wait for these other people who from their perspective are being inconsiderate. Yeah. And so when you see that clearly, you don't have to defend yourself in that. It's just their fear, and they'll get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wonder what life is like for those people who don't notice these energies. People that aren't as sensitive. I'm like, what kind of life? I'm so curious to see, I wonder what their life is like.
Everyone is so different. We were talking to Wendy, and Wendy has always been a peacemaker, because to her, when 2 other people, not her, but 2 other people are arguing, she feels negative emotion.
Yeah, me too.
Well, she doesn't want to feel negative emotion, so she tries to control that by keeping the peace, And when you realize it has nothing to do with you, it's their vibration, they're having manifestation events. Let them have their manifestation event. There's nothing wrong with that,
It's so interesting, but I think it takes a certain focus and practice to be able to stay in your alignment, to stay in your vibration and not get dragged down. Yeah. For me, at least, it still takes practice. I have to be aware. Yeah. Because I'm in the habit of sort of just letting my energy be affected by others.
Well, remember, that's a habit and that's momentum. And, you've had many years to build this momentum, but now you're learning another approach to this and what the basis of all that is. And you don't have to take it personally. I think a lot of us who have issues around unworthiness tend to take things personally. It's like they're upset at each other, but really they're upset at us. And we're
Mm.
like, no, they're not upset at you. And even if they were, it's not you, it's something that about you or about the situation that causes them to feel fear. Like those people on the boat, right? Certainly people could take that personally. But if you look at it, how could it be personal? None of those people on the boat know you at all. They're just seeing something from their perception, and that's giving them fear, and they're reacting to urges to change the condition. And they assume that if, almost, I used to do this too. If you say something or do something to correct another person's behavior, it's controlling the conditions, and you sort of assume that they won't do that again in the future. And I would do this all the time driving. I would, someone's going slow in the fast lane, I get right next to them and give them the evil eye.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't do it now, but I used to do it all the time. Like, I'm trying to correct their behavior so they don't do it in the future. Of course that doesn't work. And what are the odds I'll ever see them again? That makes no sense, Statistically, it makes no sense. In physical reality, in the system, it makes no sense. I'm just fighting against what it is. And so I'm attracting more of those type of people in my reality, because those are little manifestation events. And what I have to understand is that everything's working out perfectly. I don't need for these people to get out of the fast lane. If I want to go faster, I'll just drive around them. I pretend they're robots now, and they have,
Yeah.
So I take all of the negative or fearful energy out of it, say it's not that person, they're not doing it intentionally, and it has nothing to do with me. Right?
On behalf of all the annoying drivers in the world, I'd like to thank you for changing.
Yes, you're welcome.
We thank you.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it for you, though. I'm doing it for me.
But I'm still grateful.
Okay, cool. What are the odds that I will ever encounter you on a road?
I don't even want to think about it.
0. You're in Norway.
Well, I don't know how. I'm not going to stay in Norway for the rest of my life.
Oh, good. When are you moving to Newton?
Are you gonna stay in what did you say, Newton? Newton. Are you gonna stay in Newton for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
You're never gonna drive in Europe?
I don't know. I get lots of tickets in Italy and France.
Well, there you go.
I don't think I'm allowed to drive there anymore.
Okay, next paragraph. So when you clear the room of bad vibes, you are not really clearing it. You are introducing a higher vibration to the room, and the higher vibrations will always win. Love is a mightier force than fear, every time. When someone of a higher vibration enters the room, this doesn't clear out the lower vibes. What happens is that the higher vibration pulls up the other vibration. The higher vibe will help elevate the lower vibrations, so that the total vibration of the room is now of a higher vibration than it was without this latest addition of the high vibe. That's what you guys were doing on the boat.
Yeah, totally. And that's what's really happening in the Joshua events too.
Yeah, raising the overall vibration.
Mm-hmm.
The energy has not been removed. It has changed into a more love-filled energy. Energy does not disappear, it just morphs into something different. The energy of the room has been changed by the addition of the higher vibration. One person of a high vibration will raise the vibration of all the other 20 lower vibrations in a group. This is how energy works. The love energy always raises the vibration, and the fear lowers it. But a tiny fleck of love vibration holds a much, much greater power than a huge amount of fear-filled vibration. That is why one person with love as their focus can accomplish so much in a world filled with fear. One light bringer, one beacon of love is mightier than an army of fear-filled people. The light will always be the strongest power. Love always conquers fear. Higher vibrations always pull up the lower vibrations. Why? Because the lower vibrations always have the desire to be pulled up into the love-filled vibrations. All that is always seeking expansion into more love and less fear. That is the reason for the existence of all that is, to expand into more love and less fear. And the all that is only love and not fear, is seeking to expand into more. The more will always be love, as fear is not expansive. In every moment of existence, all that is expanding into more love. You are always expanding into more love. Love is the intention of all that is.
That's perfect. That's
Perfect.
amazing. And this is what Joshua says all the time. Everyone is moving from fear to love.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like everything, not just humans, but animals, trees, water, everything.
Yes.
And I find that very comforting to know that it's everything. It's not just humans being all confused. We're all on the same journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could actually explain certain species that are going extinct, you know.
Yeah.
There is no need now for that experience anymore, as they're moving into love, into another vibration.
Yeah.
And I also think of pets. When I was a kid, people, you know, my dad would keep the dog outside or in the garage
Yeah.
at night,
Yeah.
you know. And now so many people sleep with their pets.
Yeah.
You know, it's a totally different thing. It's like the pets have moved into this love situation. I love the videos where, have you seen the ones where all these different animals come running out to hug the humans?
No.
Oh, it's so funny. Like a donkey will come up and will hug the human, and a goose will come up and put his neck around the human.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. There's a really great video I talk about all the time. These two guys bought a lion cub in London out of Harrods.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh
Right?
my God.
So they raised this lion cub, and then they took it to Africa and released it. And then they went back 3 years later, and they're walking around in the bush, and this lion comes charging at them, and they start running towards the lion and then hug. Have you seen this video?
It's amazing that the lion survived in the wild.
No problem. Remembered them and has its own pride, or a group of lions, or maybe cubs.
Oh, okay.
It could have been a female lion. It is so amazing. And then brings the other lions to show them off. It's so cool.
I didn't know that grown men would watch these animal videos on YouTube. I didn't know that.
See, I'm very sensitive.
Yes.
That's proof right there. Yeah.
Very sensitive.
Oh. I had rented this car in Europe, and we were driving around in France and Italy. And we're in Italy, and I'm passing cars as fast as this car will go that I rented, right? And so I'm passing a car, and an Audi comes behind me, right? And this gets this close to me and starts flashing its lights and honking its horns like it's dying.
Yeah.
So
like did he give you the evil eye like you used to
totally,
give to
just like how I do to other
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Yeah. I go, okay, all right, I'm passing as fast as this thing will go. And I had to slow down, get out of the way, and he goes by, and then I couldn't pass again. But
some people would call that karma.
That's totally karma, right? Totally karma. Coming back to me.
Yeah.
All right, that was fun. Let me pull up Joshua's answer here, and we'll read that.
I loved for a while when they started signing Josh. Just Josh, not
just
Joshua. Oh yeah, I like that.
That was just for you. What was I going to say? Oh, did you hear the puppy barking in the middle of that?
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah, it's ruining this highly professional podcast right here. We'll have to edit that.
Yeah, I think probably he'll get more fans than you and I have all together.
Did you see he ate Samantha's book?
No. So he loved it so much he had to just like eat it.
It was so funny. And then just after we did her question too, isn't it funny? So her first book was Oh, What a Pavlova. And so it's all ripped up on the carpet, and I have a picture of him just sitting over it. And I said, oh, what a bad boy.
That's Isabella May, isn't it? Isabella May, Oh, What a Pavlova.
Yeah.
That's LOA-ish, but like, it's fiction, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And Samantha's the author. She uses a pen name. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dear Genevieve, let's imagine that a room has certain energy within it. From your perspective, you may feel as if it is positive or negative energy. However, the idea of positive and negative is a judgment based on your perspective. If you perceive that the room is full of positive energy, then that comes from your perspective, just as it would if you perceived the room to be full of negative energy. In fact, the room, as well as everything else, is neutral. Your judgment defines it. So this is saying that there is energy in this room, it's at a state, and
Yeah.
your vibration adds to it and creates out of it.
Yeah. I like that.
Let's say you walked into a room full of angry people. What is the energy of this room? Is it negatively charged? If so, how did it become negatively charged? Was it the room of angry people, or was it your perception of the angry people? Did their limited emotional state cause you to drop into their vibration? Certainly not, for they have no power to create your reality. They simply influence you away from your own alignment.
That is so true. I find it so difficult. Like if you're at a party and most of the people are just like not there to party, they're just like talking about what's wrong in their lives and just like how sad they are and this divorce that's coming and the kids who's autistic. I usually get stuck behind these people. I attract these people. And it's so difficult for me to sort of crawl my way out of it and just be happy, because I get like sucked into these lower vibrations.
Yeah. And again, it's not the people doing it to you. It's your perception of them being wrong, that they should be different than they are. But definitely, go to a funeral and there's a certain energy in that funeral, depending on your state of point of view. But some funerals are much different than other ones. It depends on the people, of course. Yeah.
But I even start crying if you're there to support a friend, so you didn't really know the person who died. I start crying before the service starts, just because even though I'm not sad for this person, I just start crying. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Not me, because I know what's going on. I realize that they've lived a wonderful life. They've gone for whatever existence this is to the next thing, that they're ready for it, that they're not needing to be here anymore, and that they've just returned home,
Yeah. I'm not sad for them. It's just like, it feels just like stuffy energy, like highly charged in this room. And I just cry as a release.
Yeah.
But it's so weird.
Yeah. Now I go to a wedding and I cry.
Oh, I usually just drink. I might cry at the end though, but that's not because it's a wedding. That's just I'm drunk.
I'm just kidding. All right. In alignment, you engage the energy that creates worlds. Out of alignment, you temporarily move some of your connection from that energy. If other people influence you out of alignment, then that is your choosing. You do not ever have to be influenced out of your own alignment. You have the power to remain firm in your alignment. If you do, your energy will create a new energy in the room for you. Others may or may not notice this new energy, but you become the influencer rather than the influenced. Again, totally practical Joshua saying, the main thing here is to realize that your power is what's important. Your perspective, your judgment. Are you basing what you see out of a judgment based in fear or based in love? You have the power to influence the energy of the world, of the room and the world.
I like that sentence about being the influencer, not being influenced.
Yes.
Because that's the whole sums up your power. You don't have to be affected by whatever energy is in the room. You can just stay in your own energetic bubble. That's a choice.
Yeah, and this is how, Joshua's been saying that the greatest gift you could ever be given is the gift of clarity. And if you have clarity, that's your superpower, because you can walk in the room and you can know what's going on, and you don't have to just be, fall into it just because everyone else is that way.
Yeah.
You can see that they're just in fear for whatever that is, and you could be your own light and raise the vibration of everyone else, because that's, just what Laurel said. You have that power of influence to raise their vibration. You don't have to be sucked down into their vibration.
Yeah, and I find it helps a lot just knowing this, because then you can sort of focus on not being affected, and it just doing it with intention, that awareness just makes everything easier.
It is our power too, and it's sort of our responsibility not to let other people influence us out of alignment, but to be the influencers of their alignment and that example of alignment. That's what we're here for. Those of us who are listening to this are, you know, what are we, light workers? Lightsabers?
Yes.
What are we? Like,
light workers.
that's what we are. So we're bringing light into every environment, and we're no longer allowing others to dictate how we feel.
Did you say lightsaber?
Lightsabers, what are we?
Oh, I thought lightsaber. Isn't that like a sci-fi lightsaber? Yeah. Yeah. You can be a lightsaber.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Lightsaber. Good. All right. All the power to create your reality is up to you. Excuse me. If other people choose to believe they are powerless to the current vibration of the environment, that's their business. Most other people believe they are the victims to circumstances beyond their control, and so they look for guidance outside themselves. They are allowing their limiting beliefs to force their emotional state of being. If they perceive that something outside of them can create in their reality, then they will use crystals, magic 8-balls, candles, aromatherapy, salt blocks, smudging, and other devices to allow them to believe that they have some power over their reality. In fact, the power comes from their vibration, and they have the ability to increase the intensity of beneficial beliefs and reduce the intensity of limiting beliefs. They do not understand this simple fact. They are not aware of who they really are. They do not consciously exercise their power to engage the laws of the universe. They rely on external tricks. However, you know better.
Good thing you haven't used that smudging stick already.
Smudging?
Phew, that was a close one. What if you had used it? Ooh.
It would have been I bet you it's going to be saying it's a device. But it's probably okay to use these devices, you know.
Yeah.
Just Genevieve's been doing this work for so long. You know, all the power is in us to create our reality. All of it.
But I'm thinking the crystal thing, because crystals are living just like anything else is alive. That's an energy. So
Yeah,
I'm wondering, like, if there is there not any actual benefit to crystals? Because they hold their own energy.
The benefit is in the belief and the perspective of the person, right? It's the same as in, you know, the benefit that you get from placebos.
But but there's this thing about like grounding yourself, going in nature, because nature has a natural high vibe. Nature is high vibing.
Well, you don't have
when
to
you're
take
around
your shoes off.
No, exactly. But when you're in nature, like taking a walk, that high vibration influences you and helps you raise your vibration.
Yeah, until a lion comes around the corner.
Yeah, there's not a lot of lions in like walking free for most people in the Western world.
In Norway, not yet. Global warming, they're on their way.
But so a crystal is a part of nature. So there is some energy because it's made up of energy. We just see it as a crystal.
Yeah, but how we perceive it is where the energy comes from. So it has to do a lot with our belief system.
Yeah.
But we have the power without the crystal.
Yes.
Right?
I agree. I just think that some of these things could have beneficial energetic tools, whether or not you believe in them. I do believe there is a certain power, but I agree that if you totally believe in it, then there's more the placebo effect. But I choose to believe that there is a certain energetic help in it, regardless of whether or not you believe in it. Yeah.
Well, so Joshua uses this example, is that if you believed it enough, this was an answer, I think, to Isabel. If you believe something enough, then you don't need any devices. For instance, if you believed that you could jump out of an airplane without a parachute, you could do it. But if you can't get yourself to believe that fully, then you can use the device of the parachute, or, you know, have a tandem guy on your back. Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
No.
You should. It's fun.
I don't even like carousels or anything. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Irrational fear. Come on, push past that irrational fear.
I don't. I have no need for like physical fear-induced experiences. I have enough fear in here. So yeah.
So anyway, I think that these things can be used as devices.
Hmm.
And, we used to feng shui everything. And I really like the energy that we got from feng shuiing the house.
Yeah.
Um, don't put your desk where your back is against a door or window. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, that door's
Whoopsie.
locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That window's sort of by side. But if
Yeah.
you do, you put a mirror up here, and that counteracts the feng shui.
Well, that makes sense because then if you have your back to the door, anyone can come in and kill you. It's just that whole animal instinct thing.
Right. And it's not like calming, right? There's always a little
Yeah.
bit of tension, even
A
though
little bit of
it's
fear.
not
Yeah.
rational. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. All creation is your creation. All power is found within. You never ever need to change the external conditions. All you have to do is find a way to maintain your alignment. In alignment, you gain the clarity to feel the energy of a room. You may understand what that feeling is telling you. If you feel a room is full of energy and life, then you are in alignment. For this is the natural state of any room you walk into when in alignment. If you judge the energy of the room to be bad, you are experiencing negative emotion. Your inner self is letting you know that you are seeing the illusion of bad. In reality, it is neutral. Now, apply what you know, find your alignment, raise the energy of the room through your love and acceptance of all, and become an example that influences others into their own alignment. It is now time for you to step in your own power. And so Joshua's practical answer is talking to Genevieve in specific, saying, you know more than this now. You can be the crystal that comes into the room that dries up the energy of all. But if Genevieve has power and energy in alignment, and a crystal has power and energy in alignment, then possibly putting the crystal there would do something too.
Well, what I find interesting is that these answers, both with like all of Joshua's answers, but also when I channel for others, or it's for, yes, you channel for one specific person, but there's always something in it for me too when I channel. And if you're reading it or listening to it, there's always something for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be reading it or hearing it.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting how you can channel for one person, or she can get this answer just for her, but there's always something for whoever hears it. That's why you're hearing it. So it's like, it's both very specific and it's also general enough to be for everyone who hears it. You attract it into your reality. And I love that because everything I channel is also for me.
Yeah.
And I find that so interesting. And sometimes I'm like, Jesus, I have so many limiting beliefs. Everything I channel is about me. It's so wild. But, almost 40 years on Earth, you get to gather or collect a lot of limitations.
Yeah. And the fun part is peeling them away.
Yeah.
And really, I'll tell you this, when you get to this point of clarity and confidence, and you have this faith in the universe is bringing you everything you need, you understand what's going on with other people, you realize that these times that we have together, whether it's with you or with anyone else, are spiritual moments, not just these cast aside human interactions, that we're creating a reality just together right now that's inclusive. And that these answers that we're channeling now will go on to help other people, and they'll pass them around and pass them around, and something will resonate in them with it, and they'll want more, and they'll eventually get over the stigma of believing something outside the norm.
Yeah.
And these will start to come into the mainstream, and in 200-300 years, you and I'll be rock stars.
I love that. I like my mom, because I've shifted a bit these past few weeks. And so I've encountered a new version of my mom, more like on my level. And she is so in tune with this Joshua stuff. And we were talking about, and she never used to be, she used to be even more negative than me. And as I've shifted, she has also shifted. So this change in us, the changes that we make in ourselves when we reduce our limiting beliefs and we work in our self-love and self-acceptance,
Yeah.
these changes affect the people around us, whether or not they know about it. It's not a conscious choice for them to be changed by the changes in us, but it does affect them. And they shift with us,
Yeah.
sort of like a byproduct. And so she doesn't know the words and she doesn't know that she's talking about it, but she's so in line with everything about creating your own reality and working on my doubts instead of trying to make the perfect product, because the problem is my doubt, not my product.
Right.
And it's so amazing to see the people around me shift, because it's one thing to sort of change my own reality, but when people in my reality shift too, that is amazing. It's the biggest changes. And I showed her one of the YouTubes from these conversations. And she was like, that guy doesn't look like the sex cult guy. And I'm like, I told you so. So she's even coming around with this, like totally turning around her views on and perspective on you too, Gary. You're like cleared. You're accepted by my mom.
Wow.
What a change. But it's so weird, these changes that happen first within us and then in the environment around us, even though the people aren't consciously aligning to our beliefs or aligning to this new approach, they're doing it sort of unconsciously. That's not the word. Unconsciously, that's not the word. What do I mean?
Subconsciously or something.
Subconsciously, yes, because they're not, knocked out or fainted. They're doing it subconsciously. Yeah.
Or we're moving to a new dimension, and in this dimension that we're in now, that's the version of them that exists in this dimension.
Yes.
And it's so subtle we don't notice it until we start to think, wow,
Yeah.
But even our memories change a little bit too when we jump dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because I've been reading these, in the boot camp we share our stories, and I've been reading other people's stories, and it's like, some of these remind me of my own past, because I wanted to die. I hated myself. I hated life. I wanted to die since I was 10 years old. And I don't know if I was depressed or whatever, but there was a lot of pain within. And hearing about other people's painful past, it's sort of, there's like a slight reconnection to my past self. But I noticed that I'm not even I can't really remember the feeling of being in that pain. I'm no longer able to remember what I used to feel like. I don't remember that part of me. It's like a very, very distant memory. And it was just 5 years ago, but I really can't remember it. And it's so weird that I have shifted so much that it doesn't feel like me. The past doesn't feel like me. And it's so weird. And without the Joshua one-on-one, I would never have been able to start on that journey. That was a lifesaver for me.
How did you find Joshua? It was just for
I think it was the Good Vibe blog, Jeanette Ma, and you had commented, this is the message from Joshua. Yes. And it resonated more than anything else. And I think I probably Googled it, and there you were.
Oh, interesting.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, and that was back in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's super cool when people get into Law of Attraction or Abraham, and they really learn that the negativity that they were just their default mechanism wasn't serving them. And so they become more positive. And that's a wonderful thing. And now you get to this place where you've been positive and positive and positive, but you're still trying to control the conditions. And so the next step is to come in and realize that giving up the control is really the key to all of this, processing your limiting beliefs and altering your vibration, not just by thinking positively, but by noticing manifestation events, removing the concept of wrong and realizing that you can only judge something as negative because there's a limiting belief. So now we're really processing these, we're really doing work now. We're getting to a whole different level. That's what I like about all this stuff.
Yeah. It was so hard. It's been a lot of work for these past 3 years, so much hard work. And a lot of the time I felt like I was moving backwards.
Yeah.
But sitting here now, to live without that horrible pain, that's worth it all. I'm not saying that I feel like ecstatic every day, but the bliss of not having that horrible pain anymore, oh my gosh, that feels like, I'm sure that feels like, American excitement or whatever. But like, this is the happy me, to not have to live with that horrible pain inside. That's probably as happy as I'm going to get, because like,
Yeah.
I like peace, but
Yeah,
it's
peace
so
and
worth
quiet.
it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's totally worth all the work.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Joshua, because I see in their answers, they keep saying to everyone, you're going to get through it. It's going to get really, really good. Life is going to explode into bliss. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm not there yet. I don't live a blissful life, but I really appreciate the way they say that, because that's what gave me the power to do all the work so that I can now live without that pain. And
Right.
without them pushing me and without their support, I could never have done it. So now I see the value in, well, it's not even lying to people, because a lot of people will probably be living in bliss, but I see the value in that support now. It's not just helping us become aware of our limiting beliefs, it's also that support, like, keep going, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen overnight. It is work.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's work, and you doubt yourself all along the way. And then
Yeah.
when you get to this area, well, you go through these stages too, because you come from feeling really negative or really doubtful, or really you're living in fear is what's happening.
Yeah.
So Josh was just showing this perspective that there's nothing to fear. And without that, that heaviness of the fear you're always in, which means you're out of alignment, because in fear, you just receive all these thoughts that cause you to think the fear is real.
Yeah. And it feels real. Yeah.
It feels real, but it's not real. It's all completely an illusion. And that's why you're feeling the negative emotion. So now you come to a place where you're sort of like neutral.
Yeah.
And now you have to push yourself to another level.
Mm.
And you have to go right back into facing that fear again.
Yeah. There's always another level, isn't there?
Because it's about we live these limited lives. We came to emerge out of the fear. It feels really good not to be in fear, but now you're going to have to go back into fear to do what you're inspired to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just another muscle that you build, and you get confidence as you do it,
Yeah.
You go to do yoga for 500 days in a row, you're going to be a rock star at the end of that, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah. But that's the fun part, though, the building of your muscles, that seeing the gradual changes. And if there's I've noticed with myself, if I feel like there's no fear, if there's no growth in anything, then I don't, like, why bother doing it? So I kind of need at least a little bit of fear and excitement to be motivated to do it, because even though I have a lot of fear, and I'm the most cowardice person ever, but it's like, if I can smell that there's an opportunity for growth, at least I want to do it.
That's good.
I'll need to push myself, but I still want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The universe will come at you with everything you need.
Yeah.
But if you have that fear and don't allow yourself, like when you had said, well, if Joshua invites me to do the one-on-one, I'll do it, right?
Yeah. Because that was safe, because I thought they're never gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to deal with that fear then.
And so then I had the super inspiration to ask you to do it. And you're like, all right, I have to do it now.
Yeah.
But now you look back and say, thank God I did it. Thank God I went through that. But in the beginning, just like anything, you just want to play it safe. And you're like, I don't want to do all that work. But
not
so great.
Yeah, but not just in the beginning. I was kicking and screaming all the way to the end. And the last call was also me having a fit of anger in it. So I guess sometimes that's just how I operate. That's fine. I still move forward. I'm intending to not do that so much, but it's no big deal if I continue. It's just a phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're super young, so you got lots of time, which is nice.
Super young. Oh my God, super young. So young.
You're like 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I still feel that, oh my gosh, I'm almost 40. There's so many shits. I should be at a certain level. You should have everything lined up in your life. I should know what I want to do. I should be successful. I should be better at this.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like, you got to go with what is going
Yeah.
in the day. So you could say in the day, is there anything coming to me? And if it's coming to me, how am I resisting it? Am I going for it? Like we just got offered the opportunity to go to Paris and Amsterdam to see Abraham.
Whoa.
Right up, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, how am I going to do the boot camp? And do we have any money to go? And all this stuff. Do we have time to go? Who's going to take care of the dog? All that stuff. And I just said, come on, this is an obvious sign from the universe.
Yeah.
We have this opportunity. We have tickets to a Soul Out Abraham show, and there's something coming out of this. And I think, when I was first getting into this, I looked around to see if there's any other channels besides me and Esther, and I found Story Waters, and Story was having a seminar in LA. So I just booked a trip to LA, and in LA, I met a bunch of people, had a great time with my friend Mike, who lives out there, and met Steve, and Steve was really the key to so much growth out of this. He was the first in the one-on-one. He introduced so many people, including Wendy. And, that it was like, had I not gone, this wouldn't be anywhere near where it is now, So the same thing is like, okay, this is an obvious thing. Sure, there's fear about it, but I'm just going to do it. It'll work out. I have faith that I'll have everything I need to take care of it. And actually, we've got the dog lined up. We've got, seem to be paid for. It's all working out. And
you have nothing to lose.
I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
No one has anything to lose, right?
No.
Yeah.
But oh my God, Joshua in the hot seat with Abraham. How cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd be like, hello, Joshua, we see you are here.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We will see what happens.
Exciting.
I have a couple ideas for questions, but I'm going to let it go until that pops up if I even get in. I mean, it's a 2-day event, but there's tons of people, and it's been sold out for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's in a big place in Amsterdam too.
But how exciting that you're getting to do this now when you're channeling Joshua, compared to like 10 years ago when you were just Gary.
Yeah.
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 That's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Hopefully, well, I'm not even hopefully, it will work out. And I'm excited to see how it does work out.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it too.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been another wonderful, exciting conversation. We're creating our future. We're helping people create their futures. We're building on the love of the energy of this planet.
We're creating more lightsabers.
More lightsabers are coming out of everywhere.
Yes.
If you want to connect with Astrid, go to
laurelsmessage.com, a Laurel's Message on Facebook. That's an open page for everyone to go check out. And I can do written channeling, or we can channel for you on Skype or Zoom.
Excellent.
Yes.
And if you want to ask Laurel and Joshua a question to be on this show or some other show, send it to joshuaquestions@gmail.com.
And we can even do, if people are afraid, we can do Jane Doe or John Doe questions.
Yes.
If
you don't have to
people
put
are really, yeah.
Yeah. We only use people's first names anyway. But if your name is unique, like Genevieve, everyone knows who Genevieve is. We'll use whatever name you want, or Jane Doe, or your name. But, in this family, this community, you can literally ask anything. No one's going to judge it, and everyone's going to be like, thank you so much for asking.
There's always someone who can relate to your question. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do very rarely, but I do a one-on-one hour with Joshua channeling with someone else. I've done it with you before.
Yes, that was great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe if someone wants to do that, I will do that. So you can go to theteachingsofjoshua.com, and there's all kinds of stuff there. There's free stuff. You can find out about the boot camp. You can ask a question. You can ask a free question here.
I did that at least 3 times, maybe 5. It was extremely helpful.
Well, there are no free questions on the website anymore, but there are free questions if they go to Joshua Questions at Gmail.
Yeah.
If we pick one of those, that'll be free. But,
yeah, that's the same.
Yeah. So, but the website, it's $97 now. And then the one-on-one channeling, I can't remember how much that is, but it's totally worth it. Tracy's got a Healthy Mind, Fit Body boot camp starting in August. And it's super cool. It's based on the Joshua diet. She's made it into a 8-week boot camp, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. It's coaching calls and a Facebook group and one-on-one calls with her and daily spiritual practice. You got homework and assignments. It's very cool. So if anyone's interested in that, send an email to Tracy Deluise, DELUISE @gmail.com, and she'll tell you all about that. Otherwise, I'm done here. It's raining.
It's raining here too. Oh my God.
Yep. It was sunny and beautiful. Rain just popped out of nowhere. So we're going to play with the dog, and I will catch you next week. Thanks, Astrid.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.